Yeah.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Empower Your Health and Empower Your Life TV. We are so pleased to have you here. Thank you so much for showing up and immense gratitude for your time again to be here and to support this project. Empower Your Health, Empower Your Life TV. Here to bring you live interviews with fantastic, empowering leaders, community builders, healers, spiritual guides, people who bring strength, power, and healing to our communities and to the individual. So together we are more stronger, more empowered, and we're here to serve each other. So this is the goal of our project. And this is immense gratitude on my part that you actually take your time and are here. And I promise again, you are not going to regret that immense value from what is going on today. So today we have a very special guest. And I think we have a little feedback on the line, so I'm not sure where it's coming from. Forgive us. Let's see if we can fix that really quick. Yes, this is better, I think. Alrighty, very cool. So going back, we have a very special guest today, and you will not regret because she's going to bring us an immense amount of value and contribution. And you're going to come out inspired. You're going to come out with action steps to take your life to the next level. So without much further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Rose Santiago. Hello, Rosa. How are you?
Good. I'm feeling great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Monica, for that beautiful introduction. And I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you again. I mean, my gratitude to you to give us this time, to give your energy to be here on the live and on the Zoom recording, to bring your brightness, your shine, your spiritual guidance that you offer to people, your empowerment that you offer to women and to people all around you in your community, online and in person. And you know, I've just been so inspired by who you are the very first moment that I met you, and I will never forget that. And I'm always so grateful and grateful for your time here. So wow, I'm gonna give you the mic, and please tell us where you're from, what brings you on today.
Wow. Thank you so much, Monica. It was such a pleasure meeting you too. We just connected in such a high level of energy. That was just beautiful how we connected. Very grateful to be a part of your life and for you to be a part of my life. Really, what I do, more than anything in the world, I believe that we come into this world, we come into this earth for a reason. We're just not brought here by mistake. We are brought here on purpose. There is a reason why we have come here, and why out of billions, and let me just be frank, out of billions of sperms meeting eggs, we have been produced. Regardless of how we came here, regardless of the conditions or the challenges, we are here for a reason. We are here for a purpose. Sometimes it takes us time to find that purpose. It takes us years, decades. But once we find it and know it and resonate with it, it is just simply getting on that path and knowing what we know to help others. Because honestly, that is what happened to me. And I wasn't always here. I wasn't always on this path. There was a time in my life where it was very, very different for me. My challenges overcame me. My emotions were low energy. I did not come from this place that I am from today. It was very different. It was a very different story that I would be able to tell even 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and I'm still growing and learning. So this is a journey. This is a journey where we are always learning and growing and expanding in thought, right? Because our thoughts do expand. The more we think about what we want, the more we think about feelings of growth and doing better in life, changing the way we think can be exponential growth for us. So as a person that has lived in a time where life was not easy, for those of you that don't know, I have a visual impairment. I was born with that visual impairment. It's optic nerve damage that I had in my eyes. So it happened during the time that my mother was having me. I had optic nerve damage, and I was born with that condition, not allowing me to see pretty much at all. So being born in that condition, growing up in a family where I have a big family. My family is very big, and we love each other. So that's a good thing, right? But growing up in my family, I had challenges. I went to a regular public school, so I was interacting with with students that had no visual impairment. I was the only one. I was the only one. So what did that do to me? In the beginning, it didn't do a lot of good things to me. It made me feel less than, inferior. It made me feel that no matter what I did, it was never going to be enough. And an experience that I can share with all of you, a story, is when I was in high school, I remember I was offered to be on a play in high school. It's called Bye Bye Birdie. And in that play, I was playing a very insignificant role. It was just a little role with a few lines. But however, what happened was the person who was the main actor of that play asked me to be his number one fan. And it was like Bye Bye Birdie. So for those of you who heard of the play Bye Bye Birdie, yes, I was in that. And he asked me to be his number one fan, to sing with him, because I was able to, I'm able to sing and things like that. So he asked me to be part of that play, part of that song with him. And I said, okay, great. You're asking me to be singing with you, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to sing with you. Why did I do that? Why did I say no? I said no because I didn't feel capable. I felt as if I was not enough. Me? Do a song with you? I'm supposed to dance? I'm supposed to kiss you in the end? You know how these things are romantic, and you're supposed to kiss at the end, and it's supposed to be an impact, right? Because he's actually, the guy is leaving to the army, and he is, he's going to leave his fans. So he is like going to say his goodbyes, and the number one fan he wanted was me. And I said no, because the way that I felt about myself at that time was I abhorred my blindness. I was uncomfortable in my own skin. And thus I felt limited. I felt as if, what can I contribute to this? Nothing. Just my voice? That's not enough. I'm not enough. So why would I do this? And I'm going to tell you, at that time, my she-go, which I call my she-go, it's the ego, I call her my she-go. My she-go was going crazy inside of me. She was like, how could you possibly do this? Like, are you kidding me? This was an opportunity for you to be singing in front of a big audience, to dance, why would you do such a thing? You're insane. And all I said was, are you kidding me? You think I'm going to go up there and make a fool of myself? So you see, sometimes our fear of what we don't know, the unknown, that fear can cause us to stand back, to go stand in the background, to be the shadow of yourself, to not show yourself for who you really are inside. Inside, I was like, I wish I could dance. I wish I could just do this at the end of the play and kiss him and let the audience see what I'm made of and be excited and be happy. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. With time and experience, I learned that I was more than that girl that wanted to do things but limited herself. I was more than standing on the sidelines or behind the crowd waiting for something magical to happen in my life. I was more than that little girl whose self-esteem was definitely on zero, right? I was there. I understand that. But then with time and experience and learning and growing and expanding in thought, I was able to shift my energy from low energy emotions like fear and negativity and holding back and feeling limited to saying, I am more than that. I can work towards being better.
Rosa, wow. Thank you so much for sharing this. It's the way you express yourself and the way you speak, it brings it all to life. It gives us that deep, visceral feeling of what you went through. And I am so sure that so many people right now listening, they can relate to that. Because yes, we go into the fear, we go into ego, manipulating us, right? And
Yes.
you have experienced all of it, but you went as deep as possible. It's almost like the soul is there to allow you to experience that. And
Yes. Yes.
so tell us, please, how did you overcome those challenges? Because I know you you went into the light from there. It's incredible. Tell us.
Absolutely, I did. It was with time that I did that, but it was transitioning from those low energy emotions and learning what was possible. And that didn't come easy. I had a marriage that was with a person that was controlling, and I allowed it. So I take full responsibility, 100% responsibility for allowing that, because we are in control of our lives. We are in control. At that time, I didn't know it. My opinions were not my opinions. My opinions were relying on other people's way of thinking that really came to be my opinions, which were not really my opinions. I just lived with that because that was what I knew at the time. That was my ignorance at the time. And I don't call it ignorance in the sense of just being stupid. I'm frank with you. I call it ignorance in the sense of just not knowing, not understanding, not being in that level in my life where I could shift and say, hey, I know this now. No, it took time. I started a business in 2003 that I loved. It was a business that was providing services for the Hudson County area where I am in New Jersey, providing natural and organic services for people's homes. So I did that for a while. And through that transition, I learned in business what not to do, right? The mistakes not to commit. But through the transition of that, I started reading books. I started reading books. The very first book that I read that was of personal development was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That was the first book I read because I was looking for something to help me with my business and to grow my business and to, make my business work better. So that was one of the first books that I read. But then going from Rich Dad, Poor Dad and hearing him speak about other things, like speaking about affirmations and speaking about visualization and what it is to transition your mindset from a negative point of view to a positive point of view. I was like, oh my God, this is different. This is something I've never knew. You talk about going into something you just don't know into something you don't, to something you do know is like, oh my God, it's like an aha moment. So I had an aha moment at that time. Then I started, I love Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is one of my heroes. She is an amazing human being. I watched her show since I was a young little girl, watching her shows, but I never realized that what she was saying also was about me, about my life and what I was going through. I didn't realize it. It wasn't the time. I just believe it wasn't the time. It didn't become the time until I started to look up these books, and I started to go online and look at YouTube channels and look up Oprah Winfrey. Then I saw her one day. I think she was at Radio City Music Hall, and she was with Tony Robbins. Oh my goodness, was that an eye-opening experience for me, even not being there, just being there virtually, right? Seeing what the potential of a human being is.
Mhm.
Then I was introduced to Wayne Dyer. Wayne W. Dyer is like a person to me that really, really said it all to me in terms of learning about meditation, connecting with my higher self, connecting with that wonderful, wonderful intelligence, universal intelligence that we have access to every day of our lives, that when we connect to this universal field, everything is possible. So when I started to go into that, that's when I started to exponentially grow my life, grow inside of myself, and know that I was more than this physical person, this physical human being. I was more than my ego. And we know how the ego works, right? So it was more than that. Edging God out is what I believe the ego is. I call her my she-go because I'm a she. So I just blend it together, right?
I love your humor too with that. Rosa, it's, I mean, so you went into the depth of abhorring yourself and hating yourself and not seeing yourself as that valuable, powerful human being that you are, and actually all the reverse, seeing yourself as somebody who didn't deserve attention or didn't deserve success. And then what I'm hearing from you, and which I really want to acknowledge, that insatiable, powerful spirit that you had to actually go through all those steps to start exposing yourself to those who could help you, to powerful leaders, to Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, Wayne Dyer, people who actually are there to inspire us all. But you actually went out there and you seek help, and then step by step, piece by piece, you started to take yourself out of the darkness into the light, into actually expressing who you truly are, which is incredible spirit with incredible heritage and incredible legacy and incredible vision. So this is a thread I'm also seeing in a lot of those interviews. It's not about just one thing that happens to us that we turn around our lives, right? It's about
Absolutely.
hard work and actually taking steps every time, and not letting our ego edge the God out.
Absolutely.
I want to acknowledge that I'm repeating that because I would love for everybody to just see the power of what we can do if we actually apply ourselves to all those steps, if we actually take action. It is so powerful. So tell us, I actually really wanted to hear about your heritage, your ancestors, your connection, your powerful connection with your family. Would you want to share about that too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am very close with my family. My sisters are really my best friends. We work together. Not only do we work together as sisters and friends, but we also work together in business. So we just have a connection, me and my sisters. We were close to my grandma. My grandmother, mi abuela, she was I adored her. And I always feel that my abuela, my grandmother, is in my life today. And even though she's gone, I know her spirit is with me and she guides me. And I know that. And that's something I believe wholeheartedly. My grandmother and her mother, the little bit she told me about her mother was a loving and peaceful woman who worked hard. And throughout my heritage, it's been a line of women working hard, for what they want. And even though we've had dark moments in our lives and we've had experiences that were, difficult, and we had to overcome many barriers in our lives because of our heritage, because of coming into this country, me, for example, being here in America as a woman, as a Hispanic, as a blind person, it is a lot of targets against me. And that's the reality of how the world looks at things. But yet in myself, through my self-mastery, I have been able to overcome that, because I was a single mother for several years. After my son turned about 10 years old, I was no longer with my husband. I got divorced, and I was raising my son, working hard as a woman, remembering the things that my mother and my grandmother said, that we have to be strong, that we have to be women that regardless of what circumstances are around us, we have to improve ourselves and make ourselves better. So I believe that wholeheartedly. And that's why even through my darkest moments, and believe me when I tell you, I have had dark moments of the soul, and I'm not ashamed to say that. We all have experiences that take us to a very low level in our lives and really take us to low energy emotions, where if that is our main focus, that's going to take us nowhere. But once we focus on the good, on the love, on the high energy emotions that can help us move forward, then we can transition our lives. We can really transmute and reframe our lives from thinking we're nobody, we're inferior, we have low self-esteem like I was at a time in my life before, to saying, you know what? We all have power within. We all have something to give, and we're not inferior. We are equal to others. We all have our bad side, our little devil, what I call our little devil, right? And we all have our goddess, right? We all have these emotions. Which are the ones we're going to choose? Which are the emotions we're going to favor, instead of focus on emotions, low energy emotions that take us nowhere? And so with my family, being with everyone in my family, we have a great connection. My brothers and sisters, we're a big family. I mean, I have 2 sisters and I have 4 brothers, and we are very connected, except for one brother that we don't have with us. He had many problems when he was born. And I get emotional because it was a brother that I wanted to know in my life, and I didn't. But he was special. And in the time that he was in our lives, he was special. He was beautiful. And I will always cherish the memories, the little bit of memories I have with him, my brother Eddie, who's not with us. And honestly, he had to be with parents, foster parents, that could take care of him. He had a doctor who was a father, and a nurse who was his adopted mother. And he had to be cared for, very, very 24-hour strict care for him. But I can tell you that the good that I took away from that was that my brother was a beautiful human being, and that I will always value everything he gave to our family in the little time that he had with us. So forgive me, but that's how I feel. But the rest of my family, my brothers and sisters, we've always been close to each other. So it's a beautiful thing. Thank God for that. I'm very grateful. Very grateful, Monica.
I want to really acknowledge the depth of your love that you have for family. And I would bet that a lot of your spirit and your strength also comes from that love and that connection, that depth of connection that you have with your beautiful family, and your daughter, right, and your granddaughter, and all of those around you. So it's not just, you see, like once we connect with the community, whoever that is, if it's us or if it's our family, if it's our friends, if it's our circle, once we start to source that inspiration from others, we become even so much more empowered, so much stronger. It builds. So this is why I feel like this is also why you're here for, actually connect those who are powerful. And
yes, absolutely. And I would like to add, Monica, if you don't mind, my son, you know, I always look at my son and I say, yes, we can go through moments that are difficult, but I know and I believe in him and I know that he can do more. Just like my grandkids, I have a legacy to leave. And my legacy is to leave my family, my child, my grandchildren, to leave them with a legacy that they can move with, that they can connect with, that resonates with them, and that shows them what's possible. That for example, my grandchildren looking at their grandma, for example, saying, you know, she did it. In her challenges, in her physical challenges, in her mental struggles or emotional challenges, she did it. So I can do it. And look what she's left. She's left things for me to follow, to look at, to examine, to change in my own life, to make it exponentially better. And that is what keeps me moving. That is what wakes me up in the morning and says, let's go, let's move. We got things to do today. Because that is what moves me, is the legacy that I want to leave to my family, to my children, my child and my grandchildren. Absolutely.
Wow, what a legacy. So tell us, what are you working on right now? How are you manifesting your legacy from that powerful spirit that you are?
Thank you so much, Monica. I appreciate your words. You know, right now, I actually published a book last year in 2019, in the beginning of 2019. It's called Live Your True Essence. Learn 12 secrets that will empower your mind, balance your body, and enlighten your spirit. Reason I wrote that book is because I know that people can change. People can transform. That's why my logo is the butterfly. Even in my business that I have right now, my organic business, Mariposa Essence, which is a mind, body, and spirit business targeted to women, helping women know that they can do more, believe in themselves, know that no matter what challenges they have in front of them, whether they're physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, that they can uplift themselves and that they can do better for their bodies, for their mind and their spirit. And the book resonates with that because the book is all about, there's some experiences that I share in there about my life and what I had to go through to get to where I am today, my path. And there's also a lot of exercises that you can do to challenge yourself, to see what you're made of, to know that the only limitations that you place in front of you, the only limitations that you have are those that you place in front of you, that you can move past them and you can do more. And sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's your physical challenges. Sometimes it's mental or emotional situations, life situations that you're going through. Once you get past that and you reframe your life to doing better, refrain your brain, because it starts with your thoughts. I believe that it starts with your thoughts. Changing your thoughts, change your life, right? That's where you can move forward. That's when you can change and transform your life. So I use the butterfly as a symbol, my symbol, to show what it means to evolve, what it means to transmute from feeling negative emotions like fear, feeling limited, feeling just not being able to expand in thought. Those are caterpillar qualities. Caterpillar, crawling, moving through life with fear, moving through life with negative emotions, moving through life feeling like you're set back, instead of evolving and learning and growing and exponentially changing your life to become a butterfly where you're unrecognizable even to yourself. The same way that a butterfly, when it changes, the same insects that at one time were with that butterfly, that caterpillar, sees that butterfly and now wants to attack it. You see what I mean? It's the change, the evolving, the transmission, the transmuting of yourself to a butterfly unrecognizable unto yourself is truly transformational. And so today, what I want to do is I want to create a mastermind group. This is my future and what I look at in my future, creating a mastermind group of women that can come together and can work together, right? Help each other, all of us helping each other to grow, to expand, to get out of these negative or low energy emotions that I call them, into moving towards something great, that you have greatness within yourself, that you have more to offer than you believe to be true maybe right now, maybe in your life right now. We all came from a place of limiting thoughts or beliefs. We all came from a place of feeling less than, inferior. We all, and even today, we can feel that our circumstances are so difficult that we like, how can I, transform from where I am right now, right? Overcome my circumstances, or just be above my circumstances. Henry Ford said one time, if you think you can do a thing, or you think you can't do a thing, you're right. So however we look at things, however we examine ourselves or look at our surroundings and our circumstances, we can ask ourselves, can we or can't we? And either question, we're going to be right. Because if we believe that we can't do something, we won't do it. We just won't do it because we feel that we can't do it. And I want to create something that women can go to where they can feel that there is a potential for growth. There is a potential for removing those limiting beliefs or those limiting thoughts and exponentially growing so that we can make a difference in the world, so that we can go out there and believe that we can live our true essence in love, in joy, in peace, and serve it to the world. Serve it. Be there to serve the world, serve people in our best capacity. I mean, that's how I can say it.
Wow. Just simply wow. I don't even have words about that. And that mission comes through. And I want to acknowledge it's not easy. It takes a lot of work to open yourself to be that conduit for the spirit and inspiration. And it's very, you have to eliminate the ego or the ego.
Yes.
Because, if it's in the way, that purity of your spirit is not going to come through. So you are the living example of how you transform into the butterfly. And we want to honor the caterpillar because it took us there and it taught us lessons. We don't want to throw it away, but then we want to become those butterflies. And
absolutely. And I can just say this, Monica. I can just say this. Let me tell you, I've slammed my head many times. I've crashed into the wall many times. I can tell you that, right? I've hit rocks and yes, it's okay. It's okay, because that's our learning process. We can make mistakes. It's okay. We can laugh about them. We can acknowledge them. It's okay. We fall down. I mean, if we can't fail, we can't succeed, in my opinion. We have to fail in order to succeed. So we have to hit our head against the wall sometimes. We have to, we get angry. We get upset. We feel these feelings. It's okay. As long as we can face them, as long as we can understand them, and then move away from those low energy emotions and transmute ourselves to feeling better emotions. And then we're great. We're not going to have, every day is not perfect. I'm not here to tell you that every day is perfect for me, because it isn't. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's very imperfect. Yes. Wow. Yes. I mean, and it just fall down, get up, fall down, get up. That's human life. But that makes it real. Let's make it juicy. Like, we're not some spiritual angel falling in the sky. Thank God that he didn't create it that way, because life would be very boring without falling down.
Exactly. I mean, I have in my calendar, every time my calendar goes off, you're going to laugh about this, but every time my calendar goes off, I have this song by Diana Krall. It's a jazz song, but it's a song about falling down and getting back up and starting all over again. We're gonna fall down. We're gonna, we're gonna bang our heads. It's okay. But we have to just remember to get back up and just keep going and not allow that fall to keep us down. And that's the point. And I have to have that reminder every day from Diana Krall. It's like, remind me if I fall, if I screw up today, just remind me to get back up again. Just remind me.
In case you were wondering, what am I doing floor still, right? Get up. Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, this is amazing. You are amazing. This is all I want to say.
Oh, so are you, Monica. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. And I love this subject. I am so passionate about, physical growth, mental growth, and spiritual growth. I could talk about this all day long. You know what I mean?
You talk about it as much as you can to as many people as you can. And I mean, I'm very excited about your mastermind that will be coming really soon, and you'll be empowering women to stand up, to know how to stand up, to never give up, and keep on standing up. And that's so close to my heart. And this is something I want to truly honor you for stepping up and creating that container and putting your mind and your energy in creating that container.
Absolutely.
And I want to know, so say, like, imagine if all those dreams come true, if all that you're envisioning for yourself, the legacy, everything manifests, maybe not perfectly, but if all of it manifests, where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in like 10 years maybe, or whenever?
Oh, that's such a phenomenal question. Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, 10 years. Wow. I totally see myself writing more books. I see myself, and not just books on personal development. I have other ideas. I love poetry, so I would love to come out with a book on poetry. I love to sing, so I see myself, maybe doing a little bit of dabbing into that, not fully, but definitely. I also see myself coaching women, helping women, understanding their plight, understanding where they're coming from, because I've been there, and just helping them transition into living their true essence, because that's what I love to write about. When I wrote my book, live your true essence. It's like living your truth, living the true meaning of who you are. If you came into this earth, if you're here, there is a reason why. Everything has a reason why it's here. And what I want to show women is, what is your why? Why are you here? What are you contributing in your life to help others, to exponentially change someone's life? That if you could be something in this world that could transition or transform someone's life, what would that be? I want to help women find their calling, know what it is, by questions, by getting into deeply into their emotions, and knowing what they've gone through and what they're going through and what they want for their future. It's going to really, I'm going to really be able to help them in that way. That's why I want to create the mastermind group. That's why I want to help women. I see myself coaching them. I see myself really helping them grow in knowledge about themselves and about what they want. It's just, I see myself doing that, and I see myself traveling around the world, speaking about it, teaching it, speaking it, living it. And that's what I want to do. I think that's really what I want to do. Talk to women, not just women, finality. It's not just about women. It's about talking to people and who I can resonate with, who resonates with what my message is, and just helping them to do better in the world and contribute to making a difference in the world. Wayne Dyer said one time, he says, when you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change. So sometimes we are the ones in the way of transforming our lives and changing, because we feel these limiting emotions, limiting beliefs that set us back. So when we change that, if we're able to change that, that's when real transformation can take place.
Wow. It's all inside. You have to do the work. Wow. With the help of people like Rosa. And you know, Rosa, I know you're a visionary. I know that about you. I know you can see into the future and you can project those incredible dreams. And
Yes.
going further, like where do you see in your deepest, like most expansive dreams? Where do you see humanity going?
Well, that's a really good question as well. Humanity is, a lot of humanity is living in fear. And fear simply means false experiences appearing real. And sometimes that fear, that energy of fear, can cause a lot more setback, a lot more pain than it does bettering the humanity, making it better. And I want to be part of shifting that and making that something different, turning fear, reframing fear into love, into joy, and into peace. Because this is what I talk about in my book, is transitioning from those low energy emotions of feeling that everything is over, feeling that we're going nowhere, that people are horrible. And this is what you hear, right? You hear this in the news, you hear this everywhere. People feel pain a lot, pain and suffering. And I would love to see that transition from there to feeling love, to feeling joy, to feeling progress into something better, into shifting that, into us connecting connecting to a higher place in ourselves, higher emotions, a frequency that is higher than what the norm is today. And I think that if a lot of us have that same mentality where we want to make a difference in the world, then I think we can shift all of these fear and all of this lack, these emotions of lack and limitation. We can transform that into better emotions of love and connecting, because we're all part of something that is all powerful, and we're just a piece of that. And if we can become a bigger piece of that higher power, a piece of that love and be peace and be joy, I think the world would really, really be massively changed with that.
Wow, let's that sink in. What the world could be if we shift intentionally, deliberately. If you go into our fear, understand it, look it into its eyes, and shift it, because we are not meant to be in fear.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I remember Wayne Dyer saying something really that resonated with me a lot. He says, what happens when you squeeze an orange? What happens when you squeeze an orange? Does apple juice come out of it? Does lemon juice come out of it? He went through all of this, right? What comes out of an orange? Orange juice. Orange juice. What comes out of us when we are squeezed? When we're squeezed, what comes out of us? Fear, anger, hatred, lack. What comes out of us, right? We have to think about that. Because if we want to make a difference in our own lives and in the life of others, in the world, what should come out of us is love and joy and peace. The same way that orange juice comes out of an orange. It should be definite. It should resonate with us that it's definite. What comes out of an orange is orange juice. So what should come out of us should be primarily love, right? And that's what we have to think about when someone squeezes us. What's the real person? Who are we when someone really puts pressure on us? That's when we know what really comes out of us, is when we're pressed, when we're squeezed. That's when we know what really comes out of us. And we really should think about that, right?
Yay. So that's the orange juice test.
Yes. orange juice, right?
Like, okay, so what's coming out of me? Is it orange juice or is it something not that pleasant?
Yeah, let's hope it's orange juice, right?
Wow, I love that. But, whew, I just want this all to sink in and
I know it's intense. I'm an intense person. I have a lot of passion for life and a lot of passion for a lot of things. So yes, this is myself. This is who I really am. This is what I love to talk about. Like I said before, I can talk about this all day, but I just love, to make people think, to make people think. That's really what I love to do.
But your passion's infectious and your passion's here to be. I mean, we need the passion and we need the strength and that power, to wake us up and get that oranges going, And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
sometimes we need passion to actually irritate us so we can look into like, what the hell is coming out of me? So then we get so that I want to appreciate that. The more passion, the better. And
Thank you. I love it.
Ooh.
No shigo here, okay, Monica?
There's only passion and oranges. Ooh.
Yeah.
So where do you see the challenges for all of that manifesting right now?
The challenges of people?
Of anything that you feel, yes, for people and for yourself.
The challenges that I see basically are, getting to the people and really hoping that they can resonate with the message and that they can do something about where they are and that they can really want to make a change in their world from being caterpillar, having caterpillar qualities, and just not facing the challenges and just giving up or just feeling limited, to really transitioning and hoping that my message resonates with them, and hoping that it's something that people want, that people need in their lives, right? So that's what we really want. That's what I really want to do.
Mm-hmm. To feel that you, yes, that you didn't listen to and heard, perhaps just by those who actually can resonate with you. Maybe that's not a million people, but maybe there's a set number of people that are going to resonate with you and then take it out and they will resonate with others. And that's how
and they can help others, right? Because once they get it and once they adopt it in their lives and once they can transform into to higher energy emotions and living their life, growing, learning, and expanding in thought so they can live their purpose, then they can share it with others and it can spread. And that's what we want. We want that to spread. Then the whole goal is to share it with others so they can in turn share it too. And it can expand and it can spread around the world. That's really what it's about.
Yes.
Exactly.
Reaching and the reach and communication and communicating what your true mission is.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
So basically, if anyone does want to reach out and connect with me, they can always go to my rosesantiago.com website. There they will find everything. Basically, they'll find the store that I have with my sisters, my dear sisters that I love. And also they can connect with my book, which is also available for anyone who wants to check it out. It's Live Your True Essence. And it is available in Barnes & Noble. It is available on Amazon. But definitely what I want to just give to people is that, yes, you can make your life better. There's always room for improvement. There's always a way. I always said since I was a little girl, where there's a will, there's a way. So, we can do something about where we are. We don't have to accept it. We don't have to accept it. We can always move forward and we can always do new things and change our perspective on what we believe. There's always room for growth. And I'm still learning and I'm still growing and I don't know everything. And I can tell you that that's okay. And I'm okay with that. I just know that each day I am learning and growing and doing something with my life that matters to me and that I hope matters to others as well.
Yes. And it does. I know that there's so many that will resonate with you. So can you tell us again what the website is so people can reach out?
Absolutely. It's rosesantiago.com. Everybody calls me, my family, they all call me Rose. I use my little nickname in my website because my family calls me Rose. My name is actually Rosa, but my family calls me Rose. My friends call me Rose. So I kind of like stuck with that. So it's just a loving name. You know, they give me that little nickname Rose instead of saying 2 syllables, they want 1. You know how everybody is with like, you know, shortening everything. So it's rosesantiago.com. And everything is available there. So you can check everything out over there on that website.
Fantastic. We're going to post that. And so guys, please go to rosesantiago.com and see the wealth of offering, which is, you know, her spiritual guidance, her mastermind, her book, her products, the amazing products that she has.
Thank you.
It's all about of the spirit of the body. So, wow. So is there anything like for the concluding remarks? Like, is there anything you want to share with the audience today and give a
Sure.
with us?
Yes, absolutely. What I would like to part with is just to remind everyone, you know, be the change you wish to see in the world. That was the Buddha. He said that thousands of years ago. Be the change you wish to see in the world. If you are a person that wants to see more love in the world, be loving. If you are a person that wants to see more joy in the world, be joyful. And if you're a person that wants to see more peace in the world, be more peaceful within yourself. Begin the process within so that you can share it. Because if you can't have love or joy or peace within yourself, you're not going to find it in your reality. You're not going to find it in your world. You have to be that in order to extend that. So I just say, you know, encourage others to, you know, there's things that we have challenges with. Yes, I understand that. But let's be the change that we want to see. And let's just live that change and feel that change in ourselves. And then we can do it exponentially outside of ourselves as well. Thank you so much, Monica, for having me here. I appreciate it so much, and I love you. You are the best. I love that I met you, and I'm so glad that you're in my life. Thank you, Monica.
Rosa, I mean, first of all, just extreme gratitude for you, for your message, for your courage, also all the challenges, for you getting up from the floor every single time because you have the message, you have the legacy for your family and for people and for humanity, and that is powerful. So you being here with me on this live is an extreme honor and privilege, and I feel nourished, and I feel like I will take so much from this encounter we had today. And my wish for you all who are watching the video right on live or watching the recording is that you also take that and let it bloom in your life. Let that wisdom seed in your heart and let it grow and bloom, and you will become unrecognizable to yourself. And just like the caterpillar goes into a butterfly. And please reach out to Rosa at rosesantiago.com. See what she can
rosesantiago.com, yes.
Yay. And for now, I want to express my gratitude for everybody who watched today, for being with us, for listening to amazing wisdom from Rosa. And you know, you are the reason why we are here. You are the reason why we're doing this, and bringing messages to empower you, empower our communities, empower your communities. So Empower Your Health, Empower Your Life TV is solely dedicated to bringing the community together in empowered way, where all of us grow individually so that we can create a new humanity going forward. And this is what we have to do. We're little small people that are, you know, just here in our homes shooting videos and listening to videos. So know that you are the key to anything that will ever change for the better in the future. So please stay tuned. We're here for you. We're going to be bringing more videos and more incredible, amazing speakers. And Until then, have a beautiful, gorgeous day. Do something amazing for yourself. Tell yourself you love yourself and that you will get up from the floor every time you fall down. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.